The previous heat featuring Khalees literally went down to the last 5 seconds. Khalees getting the win. And I love that we had to wait for it. I mean, that really built the drama, built the tension. You know, there was probably split decisions all up and down the beach surfing, and we truly do have a clash of the titans in the water. These two surfers currently hanging on to the last 5 world titles between the two of them. Soleil Errico, Honolua Blomfield, who's in the blue on your screen right now. Behind your screen, myself, Chris Cote. Aloha and good morning from the Huntington Beach Longboard Classic, part of the Wallex U.S. Open of Surfing, presented by Pacifico. Wake up, surf fans. We are straight into it. The semifinals are in the water. Soleil Errico is up and at it bright and early here in Huntington Beach, California. 8:40 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And prime time. Kind of sleepy through the first part of that heat, but then really came alive like Peter Frampton, and now we're straight back to the nose with Soleil Errico.
Yeah, so Soleil, just loving Soleil's technical style here. She knows a lot more about her boards than she ever has. You can tell really using the hip of that board to drive through the turns and critical nose ride.
With a 6 to start, so these two surfers, obviously the strategy is get out there and get started, get on the nose and pose. Soleil Errico with a nice little hang 10 to start this wave, cutting back down the face, good little whitewater section to work with, well done, in control with style and grace. That's why she is a past champion twice over. 24:30 to go. Judges now have some catching up to do, and we have some catching up to do with most likely a very relieved and excited Khalees Kaleopa'a on the glass with AJ McCord.
Turn and just loses it, but watching Soleil, I mean, how critical she gets when she's been going for the 10. Obviously that wave didn't have that same critical section. She's really timed it so well. I think her timing to me is something that's really impeccable.
Yeah, we talk about surfer IQ a lot on the championship tour. But on the other end of the spectrum, a wider, stable nose. So these Honolua way out into the face. So not much scoring here, nothing critical as we saw in that last heat. Judges being very tight with their scores, wanting critical surfing in the pocket. So again, another face nose ride, but she gets a 10 and holds it. Steps through the middle, and she gets a dynamic little finish here. Oh, that was her second wave. So
yeah, this is a great illustration as why she has many longboard world titles. This is her second wave. Her first wave came through at a 5, backs it up quickly with a 5.33, and that is exactly how you want to start your heat. Of course, we love the rivals stories, but I'm more of a fan of the friendly rivalry, coming in all love, showing respect to her competition. Khalees Kaleopa'a, and I love the shout out to mom. Sorry about that heart attack, but it's all good now as Honolua Blomfield wraps up her third wave ridden.
It's similar with longboarding. You see Honolua just fading that one out, and a little bit of a 10 there. And as the section, that would have looked to the judges on the wide angle, that would have shown a little bit of intensity, but she was going down the wave. And towards the pier though, so that left has a different face to the right and not finishing cleanly. They're very minute details, and here we have so Soleil keeping it high on the wave. She hasn't actually gone down to the middle of the wave yet until now, and she cuts it back, and you see that she waits for the board to rise up the face, and as you're coming down, you drop down with speed. All right, so we'll see the replay of this, and this may not go into a top scoring. So here we go, Soleil. The wave hasn't broken yet, so nothing critical, but she's capitalizing on this section here. Little 10. And then that's a real contest nose ride there. Pivots it back into the section. Bang, bang, bang. And then rides high and steps it off and just losing it there. The single fin and the rolled bottom just...
Looks like Honolua now with some intent. Quick 5. Nice cutback, showing the entire bottom of her board. And there is no edge on the rails of these longboards. It's nice and rounded all the way through to the very tail. There's one of the best vert skaters on the planet, Clay Kreiner. I can't take my eyes off her feet. Her footwork is just incredible.
That little jam at the end was pretty cool.
Yeah, right? It was almost like a 2-stager made as one fluid motion.
On the championship tour, surfers extending their body, but also shorter surfers surfing in the pocket, tighter and faster. And here we have Soleil on the answer back. She's going to get a 10 here. Nice style. Steps back to the middle, trimming through the inside section, and that wave going a little sleepy right now. Whoa.
Things are getting radical in the lineup. I mean,
These girls are bringing those.
I like this.
She'll have a coach watching, CJ Nelson, who's analysing very clearly. So there was a clear message to look at the right-handers, especially after Sophia's scores. Soleil was already out in the water when those scores changed, and then we see Honolua have a tumble. So these surfers are in the water already ready for their heat when that last exchange went down. So at the beginning of the heat, the coach is like, look at Sophia, she's ripping. They're giving good rights. Go out and get the rights.
Got to hang out with CJ last night at the Inherent Bummer party, and it was a really good look into surf culture. A great time. And speaking of surf culture, anytime you see Honolua Blomfield on the nose like that, styling it out with a soul arch, you get warm and fuzzies inside, because that right there is just as beautiful as surfing gets. You know, languid and crystal clear. There is urgency in what she's doing. I mean, right there, split second of just pure grace.
And only needing a 5.67. It was relatively critical, beautiful style on the nose, and she completes it as well. So now the judges really like the hip extension in that nose ride, obviously. So here she goes again, and that's not an overly critical nose ride. Sets this one up again to get into the pocket. See what this wave brings on the end section. So that one, nice cruisy wave. 99% of the surfing population would be super stoked to get a wave like that. Hang 5-10 and finish cleanly, especially in empty Huntington Beach. Here's a replay of that last wave, and yeah, you can sort of say the whitewash a bit further back to the right of the screen, and she's just cruising that one. And I liken it to a stand-up barrel where you see those surfers pump and drive into the barrel, say at Pipeline.
Appearing to be effortless. The Pacifico fan picks are in. 60% leaning towards Honolua Blomfield. Soleil Errico with 40% of the vote for now. You can lock in your votes for the upcoming heats on WorldSurfLeague.com as Soleil Errico locks in a hang 10 of her own. Quick turn on the inside there. So with 10.5 left here in this semifinal, we're looking to fill our finals. The Longboard Tour is straight up marquee, world famous surf breaks. It's a beautiful thing as Honolua Blomfield now gets the 5. Nice wrapping turn there. A little speed section here on the inside. Gets the finishing turn. And contrary to what happens on the men's and women's Challenger Series, the very end of the wave, not super impactful unless you do a bigger air. For the longboarders, it's the complete story from beginning to end as Soleil Errico now gets on the nose. Kind of a little bit masked by the whitewater coming off. There we see the full picture, all 10 toes over. Snap to finish there, and that was actually low-key one of my favorite claims of this event. Just hello.
What else can I do?
Yeah, I think it's
What
a
else do you
question to the
want?
judges. Honolua is displaying, but she is looking for a healthy number in the 7.43 as she takes off on this one.
Way down the beach and carving that one through. So on those involvement style boards, you got to stay active, and that she does. So it was a nice combination of maneuvers and nothing overly critical, not one single maneuver.
Hono has priority, so this is going to be interesting.
You gotta go. You gotta use your freedom of choice, like Devo once said. Pure defensive surfing there. Your finals are set for the women here at the Huntington Beach Longboard Classic. It's going to be Honolua Blomfield going up against Kalise Kaleopa'a, another classic in the making, and more of that to come. Coming up next, the semifinals for the men.